Hello and welcome to Coffee with Carrie. Welcome to today's quick tip, which is also a You Be the Coach, episode 2. Today, you could be the dating coach you never dreamed of being. I thought it could be a fun opportunity to flex your coaching muscle. So let me share with you the scenario. You can think about it for a bit and then we'll discuss it. All right, so here it is. My client is 52 years old. The woman he was introduced to by a friend is a 40-year-old woman, and they went on a double date. The date went really well, and she shared her number at the end of it. He invited her over to his place for their second date, and they grilled steak, they shared a bottle of wine on his back deck, and the conversation, he said, was fantastic. But when he gave her 2 options for the movie, ready to head into the house and settle in front of the TV, she suddenly had to get home for her dog. Yeah, these dogs make for a great getaway, don't they? She texted later that night and maintained effort over the next week. She connected with him through text messages, brief phone calls, and then finally admitted that the idea of being more physical on the sofa had scared her. She confided that he was her first date in 3 years, and she feels she isn't quite ready yet for intimacy, but she wanted to stay friends with the hopes of maybe something more eventually. That's when he came to me, or to you, or us. What do you think about this? Before we continue the episode, stop, ponder, what would you tell him? Leave me a comment with some of your thoughts, and then come back here, and I will share with you what I was thinking. Number one, I was thinking that maybe the first date shouldn't have been so familiar, or at his home, or hers even. Perhaps that's more appropriate for a 4th date, because as we've discussed before, women always have safety concerns at the beginning of a relationship with a man they don't know. And this couple seemed to have had a friend in common that introduced them, which may be the reason that they felt all right, or he felt all right inviting her to his place so soon in the getting to know you process. But I do believe that you should take your time with this. I think that you have to get acquainted out in the world and then want to share the place that you live with somebody. I really love in virtual dates when people show someone around their place while on a video call. So, I love the video dates, and I love the idea also of sharing your surroundings while you're on one. But as far as on a first real date at your home, feels kind of intimate to me. Did you agree with me? I can't wait to look at the comments. Somebody feels like being a matchmaker. I know it, one of you. Number 2, a movie at home or even at a theater is not a great date in the early stages of getting to know somebody. It's just not really conducive to conversation, which is the main goal for the first few dates. Sitting next to somebody in silence for 2 hours, you don't really learn much about them, and you definitely don't get a feeling or a vibe about whether you two have a lot in common, or even at the end, whether things are moving in a positive direction. They didn't move at all. Maybe you can see if your humor aligns, if you're watching a comedy and you both laugh at the same places, but I would never, as a matchmaker, plan a date for a couple to be watching a movie, or going to a comedy club for that matter. It seems like a really great idea. It's something to do, it's not dinner, it's not a movie, it's more interactive. But when you actually do it, you realize that it is still a theater vibe, and you really can't communicate with all those people around, sometimes very close, sometimes other people at your table, loud in there, dark in there. So I would just say avoid that as well on a first or second date. Once you know each other or you're a couple, definitely that's a great time to go to a comedy club. I'm a huge fan. I'm a fan at the clubs and watching, HBO or Netflix specials. So that's great too. Just maybe not on date number 1, 2, maybe 3 is what I'm thinking. Number 3, I want to discuss the fact that I think it was great. She was honest enough to admit that she was uncomfortable with the thought that this could turn into a situation where it would become intimate. And I think she should have been comfortable enough to say that during the date as opposed to making up a dog excuse. I think she just could have said, I really want to take things slowly. If you're in that situation, I want you to be comfortable doing this. So let's just go through it real quick to say, I really would like to take things slowly, get to know you. I really have to do this at my own pace. I hope you're comfortable with that. So if she'd said it more like that and in the moment, I think there could have been a better reaction from him, and I wouldn't be thinking some of the things that I'll get to in number 4 and 5. But there's no reason that you need to be uncomfortable stating that I just wanted to be clear and let you know that I'm not ready for intimacy yet. Yeah, I think it would be great to watch a movie, but I just did want to let you know that I'm a person who really needs to take things slowly. I don't think I'm in the right place for anything intimate right now, but I'm enjoying your company. I'd love to see the movie. You just stated your needs. You set your boundaries. Number 4, he can continue to chat with her if he insists, but what I see based on the way she said this is that this is the friend zone he's entering here, with a very slim chance of escaping that once it's been established. But I would rather be clear on how he likes her, put the ball in her court for the second date, maybe taking a step back and letting her reach out when she's ready to date. And maybe I'm wrong, and perhaps she stated this inaccurately for what she was feeling. I just have a vibe about that, but she did say, I hope we can be friends. So if that's what she meant, that's one thing. If what she meant was I need to take this more slowly and build up to romance, meaning physicality, that's a different story. So I guess he could ask some more questions to find out what she means without putting pressure. I mean, if he must really like her to do this, because she threw up a roadblock, and if he was just, I don't really even know her yet to know if I, am feeling anything. It's kind of a case-by-case basis, and this would be depending on the feeling he already has in this situation. Some other quick thoughts that I had here that were positive, I'll share. Number 1, positive, great that their friends were open to matching them. Make sure you're always asking your friends and family to fix you up with somebody if they know other singles. They don't know you want them to do that unless you tell them, and that's not a priority for them. So I love that their friends did this for them. I would love everybody's friends to do this. Not everybody can have a matchmaker, right? And the dating apps cannot be what we are doing 100% of the time. If you've been on them for any length of time, I know you know this. They are a supplement to a real dating life, which is why I have my free guide on meeting people in the wild. Grab that. It's free. It's down in the description box, the show notes below. But you have to be asking these friends to please, who do you know? Do you think there's anybody great that I might like? You know me well. I know you want what's best for me. I do also have an episode on how your friends could be keeping you single in this type of a situation. I think it's called, it looks like this. This is the one I'm talking about. All right. Oh, I'll link to it here. Okay. But to wrap this one up, they don't know to be doing that unless you are constantly putting that idea in their head. Continue to remind your family, friends, coworkers that you love the idea of them setting you up with somebody. Remember what I always say, the more people you meet, the more likely you are to meet somebody you connect with. Number 2, every day is a learning experience. And a lot of that, what happened, he can take away from this experience. We always try to learn from dates that go well and dates that don't. Put a positive spin on it and just remember that this is an opportunity to think about things that you hadn't thought about before and to figure out what's going to work for you in the long term. Maybe he'll just be more prepared if a woman says something similar on a date sometime in the future. You live and you learn. So this doesn't necessarily have to be a negative if friendship is something that he is open to. When there's somebody I send a matchmaking client out with and they say, oh, I thought he or she was really fantastic, but I really could only see them as a friend. You know me, if I feel very differently about that, I'll insist on another date because, I've got marriages from that whole scenario. But if I understand and what they're saying is making good common sense, there's practical reasons beyond I didn't feel magic or angels weren't singing. I get that, but I will not pass that message on to my client of, oh, here's her number. She wants to be friends. He's not there looking for friends. He's looking for his long-term committed partner. And unless they come to me saying, hey, use a couple friends. Always great to take people you've dated and only connected with platonically as friends if you're in a new neighborhood or a new town. So something else to keep in mind. All right, how did you do? I want to go check the comment section and see if any of you took me up on my offer to be a dating coach And what did you tell my client here? He's a great guy. Let's see where this takes us. If we're going to keep doing this after episode 2 here, or whether it's a 2-episode game, which is fine too if you're not into it. Let me know down below. I'll look forward to seeing you back here again soon. Oh, here's that episode I was talking about. Hit that next. I think you'll enjoy that. Mom wants a thumbs up. Do not deny my mother. I'll look forward to seeing you back here again soon. And until next time, have a good one.